welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
And I'm Will.
And today we will be talking about some drama, honey. We got drama for days, honey.
We got drama all around.
Okay.
All around.
Ooh, baby, it is getting juicy in here. The stuff that is happening, honey. So we're going to be covering a little piece of allegations with Toei for what we understand, you know, because, you know, there's always some tea, you know, there's always some drama going on. But, you know, some things came into the light that, you know, that we want to discuss and that, you know, we have some opinions on. So we're going to go ahead and, you know, share that conversation with you all. So we're going to be talking about that. Also, our very own Ryan Parrott, who has been doing such a wonderful job with the comics, he has a surprise for all of us, you know, and we're going to be talking about that. And we're also going to be talking about some comics for that ass. We're going to be talking about issues 8, right?
Yep. 8.
Issues
Lucky
8.
Number 8.
Lucky number 8 of both Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers. But first,
ooh, you know, in the Asian culture, 8 means like good fortune, infinity, all that great stuff. So we got double 8s tonight. Maybe this will be the episode that hopefully will get lots of views, lots of likes, you know, do your thing.
Do your thing.
You know, tell a friend.
Okay.
You know,
tell your friends, tell everybody.
Tell everybody, subscribe to us, all of the things.
All of the things, because guess what? We are wonderful and we do a wonderful job. So why not tell everybody, you know?
Right. And I just realized we totally segue that together.
We did. And you know what? It was wonderful. It was what it was.
Oh my God.
Speaking of telling friends, so we, of course, always have, you know, comments. We always do. Because, you know, and we're always going to read them because that's what we do, right? That's what we do. So Byron, the homie, went ahead and he sent us some comments on SoundCloud on our most recent episode. Now he asked, he says, any productions for season 2 of Dino Fury? So to answer that question, Dino Fury has already concluded production. The cast is already back in the States. Well, all of them except Tesla, because Tesla isn't from here. So all of them are back home and they are all doing other things. As a matter of fact, didn't Chance release Cherry already, right?
He sure did. And if you all haven't listened, go ahead, subscribe to his thing on Spotify. I believe it's under Chance name. And give it a listen. It is a song. Like, it is. Chance is literally channeling like Harry Styles, but like a cuter version, like a much cuter version.
Damn, not a much. You said that much a little too hard. Much cuter version.
Have you not seen Harry Styles compared to Chance? Like,
I mean,
just saying. Like, come on. I only speak the truth. You know, just say.
But yes, but still.
And like, you know what? We're not here for Harry Styles, okay? We're here for Chance. So boo Harry Styles. Like, no one cares, okay?
Listen.
And I am not. Think about it, right? Like, they were both in boy bands, okay?
They were.
The only difference is that, you know, Chance's boy band manager wasn't that great. They didn't make them like big time, you know? So
this is true.
That's not the fault of him. You know, he could have been a rock star too.
But listen, he is the male Becky G of Power Rangers, and you cannot fault him for that. And I appreciate it. He is. And I love it.
Love it.
I love it.
Love it. I'm
Love
here
it.
for Becky. I'm here for Chance. I'm here for all the musical people. Like, I'm telling you, you guys give me my playlist. And what I love about it is like nobody knows. So it feels like we're in like an exclusive, like cult-ish, clubbish, because it's like such an indie, like so small, so independent. I'm not gonna lie, it makes me feel fucking cool.
Yes.
Just say, you know, when you put it on, you're driving, and your friends are like, "Oh, who's that? That's good." You're like, "Oh, you don't know?
You don't know?
You don't know? Like, who are you?" You know, you make yourself feel so cool. Like, look at you now. Look at that. Look at it. Already, we're that cool friend that has great taste in music. You know, just saying.
Boom. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, like there has been so many times that I've played like Naomi Scott's music in my car while I'm driving, and like Muggs will be like, "Excuse me, but who is that? Like, I really like this song." And I was like, "Oh, it's Naomi Scott. Who is Naomi Scott?" Well, I'll tell you. Give it a listen.
Oh my
god!
God.
Like, oh, and I'm like,
I do Becky. I do Naomi. I do all of them. Okay, I even do Emma's when she was not her actual song because she doesn't have her own songs. But when she was on, obviously, Dino Thunder, I know, don't come at me. I know how she feels, but
don't call her Kira.
Exactly. Just don't call her Kira, and she's fine with you. She won't fuck with you, okay? Do not call her Kira. But anyway,
don't do it.
I love Emma's song on the show. I know she doesn't like the songs that were chosen for her, but I personally love it.
Girl, let me tell you, okay, girl. Now, I know she said that she do not like them songs, but I'm gonna tell you right now, "Freak You Out" is my shit. Now, she can say whatever she wants, but "Freak You Out" is everything.
I'm with you, girl. You don't understand. I'm with you. That's literally my fucking jam.
That is my jam.
I love that one too.
Okay.
I don't care what she says.
No. And I'm gonna tell you right now. I will always love "Freak You Out" because of that one scene where she was performing at Haley Cyberspace, and you got the black sister with the twist in the background, fucking it up. Girl was going ham, and I'm like, I know that's right. She is me. She is me. Now, baby, I said, yes, God. She better go off. Like, sis was doing the Matrix. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like,
now I gotta look
was
at
going
that again.
ham. Watch it. Just look at the girl. She'll be like, I'm gonna tell you right now. When the song first come in, she plays some little chords, and right before she hits, and it goes like this. Right before she does that, you got sis in the background on the far left, and she does a little Matrix move. I was like, yeah.
I'm telling you,
girl. I'm telling you, it's everything. It's
everything. Like, it's everything. Honestly, just do it. Just do all the things. Listen to the music, support them. And, you know, last but not least, please just don't call her Kira. So we went in that this discussion one more time. Right?
Because I'm trying to tell y'all just don't. I feel like personally, I just feel like y'all just want the smoke for this moment. Like, y'all just want the smoke. Like, I just feel like y'all just want it. I don't.
I honestly, I feel like that's her goal in life, is just to get her like riled up for no reason.
For no reason. It's like,
no reason.
Leave this lady alone. Like,
and then you all get all like sad about it or upset about it when she calls you guys out. Like, really? You really think she's just gonna sit there and not say anything? Like, would you sit there and say nothing if someone's trying to bully you? No, I think not.
No. Like, come on, y'all. Like, just, and the thing is, it's like, how long ago did she play this character? Like, over like 15 years ago?
Yeah, 10, 15 years ago.
15 years ago. It's like, this lady done played so many other characters, and don't try to hit nobody with the, well, she wouldn't have been nobody without power.
No, I'm sorry.
It was really just a job.
It really was just a job. And not even just that. Like, ultimately, if you guys follow her career, you all know that power just did not make her.
It did not.
It did not. It actually did absolutely nothing for her.
Nothing.
Like
nothing.
So I'm just saying, we're just saying like it is.
Just calling it like it is. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, fans, and I love y'all. I love y'all so much. And because listen, I love Power Rangers just as much as y'all do. I promise you I do.
Well,
I am like one of the
We have a whole podcast.
We have a whole podcast about it. Like, we are lovers of Power Rangers, but also we also recognize this is a very niche show. Power Rangers have not been nearly as big as it could have been since 1995. 1995 was like the pinnacle, the highest that Power Rangers has ever been. And Saban didn't take care of it. So it's like the show just dwindled and fell and just dwindled and kept falling. And it has never reached that height of success ever again. It just never did. And I'm sorry, like, y'all say what you want and you can love the show. And trust me, I love it just as much as you do. But at the end of the day, to say that, oh, nobody knows who you are if it wasn't for, I'm sorry, that is one of the most silliest things that you could ever possibly say. Because it's not true.
If anything, you could say that for us as Power Rangers fans, it's possible we wouldn't know who you are, but they've had jobs elsewhere.
I mean, speaking of, like, Brennan J. McLaurin.
Right?
That is a working man.
That is a working ass man.
Mind you, though, he was in She's the Man before he was on Power Rangers. That movie.
Just saying.
That movie
just saying.
Was like fucking good. I don't care what y'all say. I love that movie.
Just saying, like, these are, like, people need to understand, like, these actors, like, not all of them are just fresh off the boat acting. Like, that's not, like, this is their very first gig. Like, for a lot of them, it is. For a lot of them. But not for everybody, especially during the Disney era. Like, because let's be for real, during the Disney era, they was finding some heavy hitters. Because, like, Kevin Duhaney is a whole child actor.
He's a whole child actor.
He is
he was in Four
actor.
Brothers. He was in Honey. He was in, like, I don't even know what other movies, but there's a shit ton of movies.
For real. So I'm gonna tell you now, like, don't like, Power Rangers is not just the jump off for many actors. Like, it can be, and it has been for many, but also they had some heavy hitters come through, and you could tell. Because, I mean, let's be for real. RPM, one of the best acted seasons we've ever had. And all of them had prior careers. Pretty much almost all of them had prior careers to that show.
And are working today.
And are still working.
Look at Rose. Oh my God.
Okay. That's the one who I was going to say. Rose. Like, that woman has been acting. She's also a child actor. So it's like.
From Disney.
Okay. So it's like, let's be for real now before y'all start really trying to dog people. Talking about, oh, you ain't nobody, you wasn't nobody for Power Rangers. Watch it, because you're gonna talk about the wrong person. Because these people have careers.
Many people have had, like, well, even like the whole entire cast of Ninja Storms, like Sally, Pua, like, they have literally have been acting and continue to act. They're big stars in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't understand the issue. Like, even the brother who made a guest appearance, Pua's brother, he's a major star in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So, and even the guy who played RJ in Power Rangers Jungle Fury. No, Jungle Fury. Okay.
Jungle Fury.
There's so many Jungle and Furies. And
yeah.
Dino. Yeah. It's like, which one am I talking about? Even him, like the guy who played, what's his name? David. I mean, speaking of which, it's a whole freaking celebrity too. Also, he's done a lot of stuff. So, like
Antonia Preble, the woman who played Claire.
Like Mystic Force.
Mystic Force, yeah.
What was she in? SPD.
And she was the tree girl in Dino Thunder.
Exactly. Like, she's a whole freaking famous actress herself too, right? Like, we can go on. Like, there's a lot of freaking people who have a whole career, but yet still have Power Rangers as their thing, you know, as their job, right?
Right.
And another person like Kim Crossman, she made a guess of, like, obviously she has such a small role on Power Rangers, but she has a whole ass career outside of that too.
Right.
And it was
Right.
not Power Rangers that made her. Trust
At
me.
all.
Trust
At all. Because I'm going to tell you right now, like, especially for Kim Crossman, because no tea, no shade, she made Samurai what it was. I'm just saying. She made Samurai, and Samurai was still not good. But she still made the show better.
She still did.
To say that, and she only had, what, like a handful of appearances?
Less than maybe. I feel like I've only seen it like 3 times.
Was it like 3?
I feel like it was only 3.
Did she come in like, I think it was like either 3 or 4 episodes that she was in.
And some of them were barely, like she was barely even in it because it wasn't really her. It was like the stunt, right? Like it was.
Yeah, she came in at the very end. Yeah.
Yeah.
She
So
was
it's like
bedridden in one of them.
Right.
Yeah. So like, but point of the matter is like there are people that have a whole career before and after Power Rangers. Power Rangers, if anything, did diddly squat for them.
It was just a job.
It was just a freaking job. So y'all need to get off your high horse and make it seem like we made them. We did not make them, okay? We did nothing.
We didn't make them.
They are like audition.
If anything, you know, because of Power Rangers, they've gotten like a rabid fan base behind them that follows them, or at least you would think. There's a portion of us that follow their careers, but there's I guess those people that are saying what they're saying literally just watch reruns of them all the time on Power Rangers. And
that's the thing, and that's the most unfortunate thing about it, though, Will, because it was like the gag is it's kind of sad when you think about it, because there are so many people who still don't know that, you know, they don't know half of the not even half, like even a smidgen of what the actors have done after Power Rangers. And I feel like that's what makes Tribunal of the Grid so important, because it's like we're literally like it's amazing how many times like all of us have seen when we post something, someone be like, oh, they're in that, or oh, they're still acting, oh, they're still, it's like these people have whole careers. Like what is happening right now? But it's like at the same time, like you said, they only know them from Power Rangers, and they're like, well, this is the only show that I watch. This is the only show that I'm faithful to. So if this is the only thing I know, then I don't know.
But you know what's crazy too? Like, okay, Eka, he was in Marvel. So like he was in Jessica Jones. Like, how do you, I don't know, it just still blows my mind, because like that's such a big fan base that you're telling me you did not notice Eka was in that. You did not notice Allie Kane in Rain. She had a whole, like, she was the lead. She was Queen Mary.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? She was Queen Mary in Rain.
Yeah.
She was also in Once Upon a Time. She was also in freaking Teen Wolf, I think it was called. Eka was in one of the I think it was also Teen Wolf. Was like the originals or something like that. I can't remember.
No, he was in the originals. Yeah,
okay,
he was in the originals.
I think he was part of the like the originals, but he was.
Yeah, he was a vampire. He died though.
Yeah, they made like a crossover at some point too. I think it was sad, but they did do a crossover. He was in Spartacus. Like, we can go on for days, guys.
Yeah,
they've done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy what these actors are doing out here, and it's like, y'all, like it's like Power Rangers is, I understand this is the show you love, but also like once they leave Power Rangers, they're not, like, don't hold on to the expectation that they're going to be like your favorites. Well, like your Jason David Franks, who was just consistently, you know, throwing around Power Rangers, being like, yeah. Like, not all of them are going to be like that. And that is something that I do feel like this fandom needs to come to terms with. And I'm not saying everybody, I'm not saying that at all, but I do feel like there's some people who need to come to that realization. And
also, like, to be completely fair too, and this is not throwing shade or anything at Jason David Frank, he doesn't have an acting career outside of what he's already doing right now. he only has his social media. And
I mean,
that's what
he has Legend of the White Dragon.
Okay, first of all, Brennan, that's not even boy, girl, you don't even get me fucking started. Okay. Don't even. That's not even. Listen. Nuh-uh. We're not doing this. No.
I'm just saying. Like,
no. My point still stands. He uses his power and status to make that White of the Dragon shit. Okay. Like, no. No. If I can like reach into the screen right now and just slap you with this, I would.
No, because I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is that at the end of the day, he would have had nothing if it wasn't for his power and status. And he is smart. He is smart for riding on that shit. I will give him that. He's smart for riding on that shit. I would too if I had that kind of power.
Yes, I mean, like let's be loud now on the subject of JDF. I will say, I'm not even gonna hold you. If I had the same clout of JDF, I would probably do the same thing. I would ride that shit till the wheels fall off.
I would ride that
sure
shit too.
would.
I would too, and I'm not against him. You know, I applaud him. I admire him for that. But
yeah, I would.
You know, and as much as for those who've been listening as long as they have, they already know. Brett and I aren't exactly thrilled with Jason David Frank, but I will give him that. You know, if I had that kind of fan base that's that dedicated to me, fuck yeah, I would be riding that shit too.
Yeah. I mean, like, because the thing is, it's like this, like he will forever be known, especially forever be known as the Green and White Rangers. Like that is what this man will always be known as. And for many people who, especially who just because nostalgia is a thing. I really need for everybody to recognize nostalgia is a real thing, and that shit makes money. And especially if you've been that influential in people's childhoods. And they see you and they automatically remember, oh, you that guy. Oh, snap, you him. Like instantly money grab right there. So yes, I can completely understand him, using that to his advantage. Absolutely. Like who wouldn't? My only thing is, and this is something that I do applaud Hasbro for, not so much in the toy arena, but in the show arena, I do applaud Hasbro for this. They are not leaning on the Tommy nostalgia. They're not doing it. And I love that. I appreciate it because my thing is Tommy does not make this show. He does not make the franchise. He is a part of the glory days of the franchise, if you will. He's a part of the glory days. He is what all the children tuned in to see. Children were so upset when they thought that he was gone forever, but then he came back as the White Ranger.
I mean,
and everybody was like,
upset. So I mean, we were those little children too. So
well, I mean, honestly, I wasn't.
I felt for Cam. I was like, nah.
I didn't feel for none of them. I didn't care. I was more hurt when. Listen, I didn't care. I'm not gonna hold you. I was like, oh, he's gone. Okay. Like I really didn't care when he left, but I was one of the rare ones. I just didn't care.
I went with it, and then when he came back, I was happy. And then he left again, and then when he came back, I was happy. I just went along.
Yeah, like I think I was more like you, Will. I just went with it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But my thing was when he became like I was always a fan of him as the Green Ranger. And I never understood why until I was an adult. But I was always a fan of him as the Green Ranger. But as soon as he became the White Ranger, I realized like I just didn't have that same hype for him as the White Ranger. I just didn't. But I didn't understand why I didn't. And then as an adult, rewatching Power Rangers, I finally understood it. I'm like, oh, this is why I didn't really care for him as the White Ranger or the Red Ranger or anything other than white, except for when he was the Black Ranger. This is why I didn't care for him, because it was like, for me, I was just one of those kids who I'm like, I want to see the others. I want to see the others get shine. Like I am the underdog dude. Like I love to see I want to see everybody win. I want to see everybody get shine. And it's just that I noticed even as a kid, like, why isn't Aisha getting anything to do? Why isn't I want to see her. I want to see her do something, especially for the simple fact that I had braids and I love the color yellow. And Aisha was like she was my favorite. Like I fucking loved Aisha. I want to see her. I want to see Aisha. I want to see Adam get to do something. I want to see Rocky get to do something. Like I want to see all these people do things. I want to see them get story. And every time you turn around, it was Tommy in the forefront. It was always Tommy saving the day. And it's like, can anybody else save the day? I mean, goddamn. Like, I mean, it's just, like, I mean, that's what it always was. So I'm just like, ugh. But that's how I always felt as a kid. And then as an adult, I'm like, oh, I see what this was. Y'all was pimping that mug on us is what y'all was doing. Y'all was force feeding Tommy down our throat. That's what was happening. And that's really what it was. Because, I mean, in Zio, Tommy, mind you now, I'm going to say what I got to say. Even though I love Zio, and Zio is my #1 season of all time. But even then, I had a problem with Tommy. Because I'm just like, how Tommy had the same Zio crystal as everybody else, but he still felt stronger than him. Make that make sense. Like make that make sense. Like, he still felt stronger than them. And I'm like, that's not right. Like, why is what? Like, this doesn't make sense to me. For the life of me, it just never made sense. And I'm like, that's why. They just kept pimping this dude on us. And it's like, it became overwhelming. And even he couldn't even save Turbo. I mean, goddamn, Turbo was terrible. But, hey.
I don't think he wanted to save Turbo. I think he just wanted to get out. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I mean, even if he wanted to, Turbo was unsavable. Now, mind you, I love Turbo now. Like, I'm not even gonna hold you. I have been rewatching Turbo, and I have found a new love for Sidebar, I found a new love for Turbo. I know this is gonna sound really bad because I have been the person to be like, I am not a fan of Turbo. But I don't know, man. I think I might be joining the wheel boat. Now, mind you, I'm still gonna say the Turbo movie is still on the bottom, but it's far. But I have found a new love for it because I ain't gonna hold you. Some of the episodes are genius. Some of the episodes are funny as shit. Like, I'm gonna tell you right now, that episode with Eritan when TJ was trying to save the nature boy. And that part was so funny when you got the Red Turbo Ranger talking to nobody and everybody just sitting there looking at him like, what are you doing? That will forever take me out. I need to make a meme out of that. That is the funniest shit I have ever seen in my life. I'm like, I am discovering new things about this show that is just making me cackle. And I'm just like, this is great. I love it. But back on track though. Because we got so far off track. But yes. So he also wrote the second episode gets a 4.5. Boy Trap was really good. Yes, that is an actual really good episode. That was a really good episode. I agree with that. Like, I know I probably gave it a 3, but no, it was good. It was very good. That finale was just mwah. Thank you, obviously, for always writing us. We really appreciate it. And yes, onward to the show. Now, as I told you before, we are, obviously going to be talking about some heavy stuff. So, trigger warning. Now, for any listeners out there who are very sensitive to things like assault or anything like that, please go ahead and fast forward. Because we don't want anyone to be triggered by anything. And also, just to let you know, this is going to be very heavy. because these allegations are quite serious. So just saying, if this is something that you don't want to hear, go ahead and fast forward on down to when we start talking about our awesome Ryan Parrott. But for now, we are going to go ahead and we are going to start talking about the Totg situation. Now, first of all, y'all, just as a lead-in, just so I can let people know what is going on, with little piece of Totg. Now, Totg has been kind of ratchet for a hot little minute because I've been, okay, so if anybody also knows, I'm also on No Pink Spandex, and me and Lisa J have chewed out Totg multiple times, mainly because of how they just love doing black hair in their stuff. The first major occurrence that we had to speak on was Juo Lion, which for some strange reason, I don't know why Juolder is starting to trend now on Twitter, but whatever. Like, I just see Juolder pictures all over the place. And I'm like, why are y'all
Yeah, I did notice that too. That's
it's weird. Like, I'm like, why are y'all... Do y'all think that Juolder is the next season or something? Because I'm sorry, but I don't want it.
It's not aesthetically pleasing. I don't think so.
It's not.
Oh wait, is it the?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No. That is what the people have been posting.
Why does this look like a knockoff version of Ninja Storm mixed with Wild Force?
Okay, that's fair. I think it looks like those bootleg Power Rangers toys you would see like
at the flea market
store.
That I sell at my store. I sell those at my store.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they look like their outfits look like those little animal print tees that you would buy at Target or Walmart. Like, I'm just like,
it reminds me of Devin's or Devon's his cheetah shirt last season.
Yeah, and even his look better than that crap they're wearing. I'm just like, right. What is this? But people are caping for this, and I'm like, are y'all for real? And then don't even get me started on their Megazord. Their Megazord is literally building blocks. They just stack them. Yeah. Are you serious? Y'all are caping for this? Really? I'm sorry, no. I understand. Like, our choices are very slim. But I don't think Hasbro is going for this. I just don't. I don't think Hasbro is going for this. Like, and they might end up being like, you know what? We can actually turn this out. And if they do, wonderful. I hope that they are able to give us all the things and make this a very good show. But I highly doubt it. Not when they got Cure Major. Like, the Cure Major just looks aesthetically much better. Like, it just looks better. Like, I'm sorry, it just looks better. Now it may not be the best show in the world, but it also goes right along with what we currently have. It also has a Green Ranger as a female. It has the 2 females on the team. And it's like, it has Zords that you can actually break apart and form instead of just stacking on top of each other like building blocks. Like, it just is. I just feel like it's the overall just better fit. But people are just like, oh, Juolder. I'm like, no. But the Juo Lion, in his human form, now, mind you, in his animal form, he just looks like a regular lion, right? He has the lion mane and the whole lion face and all that stuff, and he's walking around looking like some hobo. Well, in his human form, for some strange reason, instead of him just giving him a wig that is very similar to a lion mane, they give him locks. So they got this Japanese looking dude looking like a Rasta. Why? Why? Like, why are you doing this? This makes no sense. Why not give him a mane? Why are you giving him locks?
That is a
What
very
is
odd
this?
decision.
It's odd. Especially not when literally when he was a whole lion, he didn't have locks. I can see it if he was a lion and he also had locks as a lion, I could see that. But he didn't. Y'all just made this random ass choice for no reason. Why? And it looked like a wig on this man. It just looked stupid. I'm like, no, y'all, this is not the move. This ain't it. But for some odd reason, I need y'all to see what I'm talking about. Like,
yes, please.
I need y'all to see and understand so y'all can understand exactly what the hell I'm talking about. Because this shit is ugly. I'm just like, I just don't understand it. I don't get it. But the people are caping for this shit. And I'm just like, so is this your king? Is this your king? Like,
oh, I saw a clip of that. Someone sent it to me, and I'm like, what the shit is this?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
This looks like a damn Party City ad.
I thought that was a joke. I didn't realize that was a real thing.
That's a real thing.
Oh,
it's
shit.
real.
That's nuts. I've never seen that before, and it looks horrible.
I saw someone. I think like either Byron was showing it to me or somebody. Someone from the Ranger community was watching it, or they were sending it to. I don't remember. Anyways, all I remember thinking was I thought that was fake. I didn't know what to make of it.
No, it's very real.
Wasn't he like a whole lion, and then he like took off his face?
Well, no. What happened is like their little morphers can change them from human animoids, I guess you would call them. Like they're like human, like animal humanoids, and then like their little their morphers, their Rubik's Cube morphers can change them into humans so that they can blend in. But yeah, and I'm like, why are you giving this man locks? Why?
I was just about to say, why does the whole ass Asian man have locks? Like, and these locks are like terrible too. Like, okay, he can be Asian and have locks. I'm not saying he cannot. But what I'm trying to say is like, why does it look like exactly what Will said? Like one of those like, oh, buy this wig, it'll make you look so great for your Halloween costume.
That's exactly what it's given. And it looks terrible. It looks tacky, but the people are like really trying to like advocate for this. And I'm like, no, babies, I'm sorry, but it's a no for me. Like, let Japan have this. Let them have this. Let them have it. Like, no, we don't need this. We don't need this. This is one of those situations where it's just like, just let them have that. Just let them have it. Like, just let them keep it. And, you know, you can just continue watching that. And off of, you know, subbing or whatever, because all y'all gonna do is just sit there and say, oh, well, the Japanese version is better anyway. So just like let it stay there. Like, don't bring that here. Like, just let them have that. But regardless, so they're doing crazy shit like that. The current new season of Super Sentai, which what you were talking about, Will, is Zenkaiger. That one, the Yellow Ranger, who is also based off of Gao Ranger. His Kikinoid form, he has locks, but he's a robot with locks. Why do y'all keep wanting to have and he is a whole racist against his own people. So like he doesn't even like other Kikinoids. He only likes humans. He doesn't even like other Kikinoids, which that sounds a little that sounds a little interesting if you ask me. But you know, it's weird. It's really weird. I'm like, y'all got this mug as an Uncle Tom up in here. Like, this isn't cute. So they did that, right? Well, on Revice, the current little piece of Kamen Rider that they have going on, Vice, the voice actor who plays Vice, was also accused of doing blackface And you know, Toei, I mean, there was mad pictures of him floating around, you know, doing some crude blackface going on. And yeah, Toei was like, we'll still keep him. It's fine. It's fine. We'll still keep him here. Mind you, there was somebody else on the, I want to say on the show, on Kamen Rider, who, or was it? No, it was on Zenkaiger, I want to say. It was a voice actor who played the bird. Not the one who helps the Zenkaiger, but the ones who helped the villains. He actually cheated on his wife. And he left his job fast. Like, he left his job. So apparently the bird is either not there or is voiced by someone else. But yeah, like that happened. And we got a new person doing that. But for some reason, we can't replace or get rid of Vice. Okay, yeah, whatever. So yeah, Toei just has a lot going on. And I know y'all probably like, get to the point. We're getting there. So yes, so there has been a recent there's an article that came out in the Tokusatsu Network, which you can, you know, research on tokusatsunetwork.com. If you want to read along, you most certainly can as we talk about it. And the actual headline goes, lawsuit filed against Toei for harassment and toxic work conditions. Now, let's get into it. An assistant producer is calling Toei out for harmful work environment. An anonymous assistant producer has filed a complaint against Toei on Sogo Support Union regarding the various issues. The letter. Now, we're not going to read the whole article because that's y'all tea. Y'all gonna do that because we ain't doing that on the show. But we're gonna hit little main points. All right. So, but I am gonna read this letter because this letter is like it basically sums up everything. So I'm gonna read that for the people. The letter. To whom it may concern, I am currently employed with Toei. I joined the company as a new graduate, and after working my way through the production department and the directing department, I worked as an assistant producer for Kamen Rider Revice, a work commemorating the 50th anniversary of Kamen Rider franchise from November 2020. As of June 2021, I have been placed on adjustment order. Because of this, I have decided to join the Sogo Support Union, an individually affiliated labor union, in order to make demands and collectively bargain with Toei Company. Listening to the current situation and the stories of the seniors who had left the field, I realized that this was not an issue that affected only me, but a problem that has been prevalent in the company for a long time and it has been left untouched. Additionally, the lack of legal compliance has been exposed on shows and hero shows, and questions have been raised on social media. I don't think I could have had the courage to file a complaint against the company on my own. I would like to express my gratitude to Ms. Eri Nakayama, a female stage host at Theater G Rosso, who courageously communicated the current situation of Toei in the past, and also to those who conveyed their awareness of questions through SNS at Gao Ranger Festival. 2 years ago, even though there was an incident at Theater G Rosso that made me question the company's decency, the internal response was to hurry up and extinguish the fire, and no one bothered to tackle the root of the issue. Even now, even though I took a leave of absence and filed a complaint, the response remains the same. Of course, I am very attached to Kamen Rider Revice, a show I've been involved with for 6 months. They're involved in for 6 months. There are many people I am grateful for. And she names the people. I'm about to mess this up. Medea, Wataru Hyuga, Ayaka Imoto, Noritaka Hamayo. Oh boy, I am very sorry if I mispronounced those names. And the rest of the cast have been wonderful people to work with and have saved my life. I apologize if I caused any trouble to those people. Now, as a whole, like just to sum up some of all the things. So basically, they've been working. So basically, she goes on to say in the article that, she was being overworked and not paid what she was due. So she is owed money. And Toei didn't pay her for it. Because she basically worked a whole shit ton of overtime and they didn't pay her. They just paid like a flat rate and was like, hey, this is what you're gonna get. You can work as many hours as you want, but you only gonna get this. So Toei hasn't been paying her and probably other people what they're due. Also, there was, sexual harassment cases going on. I am gonna read this. I was sexually now that was weird, and I was like, oh, now this is kind of creepy. I was sexually harassed by 2 staff members on set. The first was a freelance staff member in his 60s. We exchanged line, a messaging app for business purposes, and he persistently contacted me. When I ignored his messages and left him on red, he called me. On a cold winter day, he even held my hand. When I consulted Toei's internal hotline, they were unable to give me a warning from within the company because it was not a criminal offense, end quotes. And since he was a freelance staff and not natural Toei staff, they couldn't do anything. Bullshit. They ended up putting a vague notice in the staff room and called it a day. The second one was by a freelance assistant director. So basically what they're saying is if you don't directly work for the company, you can do whatever the hell you want. That's fucked up. I'm sorry. That's just disgusting. But anyway.
It is. The lack of care for your actual employees when they're telling you that they're being harassed by somebody.
They're being harassed.
They don't work there. You can't do anything.
You can't do anything?
Yes.
Like, that is disgusting. That made me mad, but whatever. With the excuse he called quote unquote direction, he called me in, just us two, and made me stand in a camera test where we stared at each other and ordered me to sit with him on the location bus. When I talked to my supervisor about it, he held an oppressive attitude against me. Later, when I met him again in another filming, he harassed me by not making eye contact and not giving me necessary information and overly reprimanding me. When I became an AP for camaraderie advice, I explained the situation to the producer and told him that if given the choice, I would remove myself from the staff. The producer reacted with, "You're lucky to be popular in such a short period of time." Wow. Really? That's your response? You're lucky to be popular in such a short period. Wow. Like, my God. Come on, dude. I would end up seeing my 2 harassers and working with them on set, mentally suffering. So let me just say this. And Lena, you probably can definitely attest to this. And we've even spoken on this, before, but it bears repeating. Women have it hard.
Yeah.
Women have it hard. And
like
the gag, it's ridiculous. The gag is that women are just being consistently gaslit every freaking day. Just constantly are just dealing with bull, and you're dealing with men who just automatically have a preconceived notion of how they should treat women instead of like human beings.
Not even
just treat them any kind of way.
Not even just that, but like constantly using being a girl against them being a girl or a woman or whatever they want to identify themselves, right? But
see, here's the thing though. Let's be very clear. Now, when you start mentioning this, and we're gonna, since we're on the topic of sexual harassment, men, and I know this has been said before, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Men know what consent is. They know what consent is, because I'm gonna tell you right now, if they know or if they even get wind of another dude looking at their behinds instead of like instead of another woman looking at their behinds while they sagging their pants, and they notice a dude is looking at them, they'll be ready to fight like it's nobody's business. They ready to fight. They ready. I ain't down with that shit, man. I ain't down with that. I ain't down with that gay stuff, man. How many times have we seen that? We've seen it hundreds of times, but yet and still you don't know how to leave a woman alone when they tell you no, or all of a sudden now you don't understand what consent is.
Well, not even just that. I was I was on TikTok earlier today, and it's funny we brought this up today because I thought, wow. Anyways, she was telling a story about how she asked somebody out, and the person essentially said no. Okay. Someone commented, now you know what it's like to feel like a man, or now you know what it's like to be a man. I think that's what they actually said. Sorry. Rejection is all part of life. It doesn't matter if you're guy or girl. It just happens.
It happens.
It happens, So for you to be like, well, now you know what it feels like. Everyone knows rejection. Everyone doesn't want to be rejected. Mm-hmm. Who wants to be rejected? No one wants to feel less than, or that they're not important, that they're not needed, they're not wanted, they're not special, they're not, seen, heard. No one wants to feel that way.
No. And the thing is, what people don't understand, and what I've noticed too, especially with men, is that men feel obligated to a woman's affection. Like, the thing is, it's like, oh, you should automatically bend to my will. You should be like thanking me that I am reaching out to you to court you. You should be grateful. Like, why are you not accepting my advancements? How dare you? It doesn't even become a situation of, oh, you rejected me. It becomes a situation of like, almost like, it becomes violent. Not even almost, it does become violent.
Yeah.
It does become violent because it and not even just saying like violence actually happens, but it just becomes violent in just the sense of they feel like you did something wrong to them. When all you just said was, I'm not interested. And we've seen and heard so many stories of women turning down men, and they're, either just lashing out like freaking madmen, just like losing their fucking mind. One guy this happened literally recently. A guy literally stabbed a woman in the back because she told him no and walked away. And he pulled out a knife and stabbed her. Like, it is crazy.
Actually, funny enough, I have a story to add to that. In Toronto, like, I don't even know how many years ago, before the pandemic, I guess this guy had his last straw. He asked someone out and she basically said no too. He took a white van. Remember, every van is that creepy white van? Well, yes. This creepy white van turned into a murder.
To piggyback off of some of the violence that women experience, when rejecting a man. I can't remember if I told you guys this before, but my best friend, she told me that she was out with her girls one night, and they were approached by a guy in a car who asked her for her number, and I believe she told him and she wasn't interested, no thank you, or that she was dating somebody, and then he was like in his feelings, obviously, and then long story short, he pistol whipped her.
Oh my God.
They got the fuck out of there.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What? What is wrong with men?
Yeah, and I've heard. I remember hearing something some time ago about a woman rejecting a man, and he caved her face in, basically.
You see,
it's like what, like, and that, some men want to call women over emotional, but they go and do that when you're rejected. Okay,
right? I was just about to say that. Like, how is that? Anyways, the story actually happened 3 years ago. It was in April 23rd, 2018. The man drove a white rental van into a crowded sidewalk and plowed into pedestrians and killing 10 of them. injuring another 15. So he literally like went fucking ham on everybody, all because of rejection. And you know what?
I didn't know that was the reason. I've heard of this before.
Yeah, that was the reason, but they're trying to make it seem like he was mentally ill or mentally unstable, which it fucking pisses me off because from the name, I think he's basically white.
When it comes to the safety of women and just the protection of women and just the overall just opinion of women, it's like they're still not seen. They're still seen as less. They're still seen as less than. Like they're not seen as human beings. They're just seen as just these objects of men's affection. And that is why I get so freaking angry with sometimes Power Rangers when they just portray just these women as just, oh my God, oh, what about you? And just throws their whole character out. Because it's like, women are so much more than just these catalysts, these placeholders, these stepping stones for men. Mm-hmm. Like they're just not. I mean, hell, let's just be candid about it. That's all Gia was. That's all Gia was. And to be truthfully honest, I hate that for her because of the simple fact that Ciara Hanna is a beautiful woman and she is just as beautiful inside as she is out. And the fact that literally all she was just eye candy for Jake. And she didn't have not even a morsel of a personality other than just being just a tease for him. That is disgusting. Mm-hmm. Plain and simple, full stop. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And it literally just shows just how utterly ridiculous we as a society view women. Like it's just ridiculous. And I don't know what it is about just mankind and just the way that we just view women, but it's always been there. And I do appreciate that now more and more, now more than ever, that this has now become a conversation. But it still is something that still needs to be cemented in the minds of our young sons, of these young boys, of these young men. This needs to be cemented in their heads that no, this is not okay. If a woman rejects you, she just rejected you. Move on. Move on. Because I'm going to tell you, at the end of the day, you just ran into this pretty young woman. I bet you walk down the street a little bit further, you're going to run into another one. And you keep walking, you're going to run into another one. You keep walking, you're going to run into another one. There's plenty of women out here that will be more than probably interested in probably talking to you. Why are you sitting here getting so upset over one woman who decided not to talk to you? Let it go. Let it go. You don't own her. And that is the issue.
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
I was thinking of the "You Don't Own Me" song.
Wow. Okay. Was it First Wives Club?
I was thinking about the Suicide Squad movie that was in there.
Oh, I thought you was talking about the ending of First Wives Club. You don't know me. You don't know. That's my shit. You can't tell me nothing. Like that's my song. But like, yes, I remember it. I remember that Suicide Squad. But nah, like it's just so weird that like that this is happening, and my heart goes out to them. But speaking of sexual harassment, during that little piece of during the letter, they also mentioned the Gao Festival. Now, the Gao Festival had Kazuyoshi Sakai, who plays Satoru Ushigome, Gao Black. He touched the lower half of Gao White's body during Gao Fest and posted the scene with the hashtag translating to Gao White's butt on social media. Since this was not a joke but a criminal act, questions were raised on social media. Since Toei has yet to issue an explanation, a signature campaign is underway. So that that has been going around Twitter for a minute, and I wish I would have tweeted this to y'all when I saw it, but I saw it once and I was like, what the hell? And then I just like went right past it. Because I thought I didn't even think it was real. Like I just thought it was just a bunch of cosplayers, like, you know, like just doing just random stuff. But apparently this was real. It happened at Gal Festival, and you literally had the actor who played Gal Black like pat Gal White on the butt. And apparently it was not an act. Like he did that out of his own volition. He just boop, pat on the butt and basically and made a joke out of, tried to make a joke out of it, but the actor who played Gal Red stood up and kind of like stood in between them and was like, what are you doing? Kind of a situation. So I'm glad that happened. I'm glad that he stood up and, you know, tried to jump in the middle of that. But even then, that's disgusting. Like, really? You're really what? Come on, dude. So yes, Toei is they're letting some major stuff go down, and basically from the consensus, basically what they're trying to do is they're just trying to just cover stuff up, just as much as possible, just, you know, extinguish the fire. Like, we can't let people find out, because, you know, they're like many other corporations. We can't let the world find out that this is happening until there's a whistleblower who is just like, you know, this is the tea and this is what's happening. Hello, Mark Zuckerberg. That's why we now have Meta. You know, so it's just really strange how all of this stuff is happening. And, you know, Toei is just like, oh, we gotta, you know, we gotta make sure that this doesn't get any worse than what it already is. Now, I guarantee you, how much y'all want to bet that there's going to be an influx of female heroes coming up in the future? I feel like it is. Because they're going to want to like ease this out, kind of like use this out of like, you know, I know y'all heard us being real terrible to women, but hear us out. See, we got this brand new female hero, right? Isn't she badass? Like, we're gonna make her super fucking cool, and like, she's gonna be so freaking cool that you're gonna forget all about what we just did, or all about the stuff that we're doing, right? Like, I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to do something like that, because this is what they do. Like, they're a company. This is what they do. So I'm just looking to see how they're going to, you know, make this situation better, or how they're going to try to get themselves out of this situation. You know, but that's all I got. Do you guys have anything that you are expecting from the end of this?
I guess your idea, or what you just said, that'd be interesting. I guess first off, we see so much stuff happening in America. And for me, it is kind of, I shouldn't be surprised that stuff like this is going on, you know, in other countries. With everything that happened with the Me Too movement, Time's Up, and all that in the last few years, I kind of just assumed that stuff was looking up for women in other places. But, you know, perhaps this could be for Japan, like a first step in that. But it's just a shame that if what you are thinking happens, that it took this, you know, to cause that to happen.
Right.
And it should have been a thing of women getting opportunities to you know, be the stars of the shows and whatnot already. And then of course, just in general, like just treating women like human beings and not just objects, and not disrespecting them with you know, the sexual harassment that we just talked about, with the unpaid time. Like, it's just like, just wow. it was a lot to read that. And it was frustrating because it's just like, damn, it doesn't feel like there are too many places in the world that are just doing the right thing. The human race is just trash.
Amen.
Everybody is just trash.
It's
horrible.
I just hope that anybody who has been affected, and I honestly do think I have to give credit where credit is due. I really do. Now, I don't know what's going on in the background or, anything that's happening over with Hasbro and their team. Apparently, they've been having a wonderful time. Like the cast and crew of Power Rangers Dino Fury has been being, they've been living it up. They've been having a wonderful time with each other. But just in terms of just what we've gotten in the show thus far, there's so much women empowerment in there. Like there's just like literally the Pink Ranger. This is the Pink Ranger story. Like let's not get it twisted. Like yes, we love ourselves a piece of Zato. We love Russell. We do. And normally the Red Ranger is normally the spotlight. But let's be clear. This is the Pink Ranger story. This is Amelia's story. So the Pink Ranger is getting all the spotlight. The Green Ranger is probably one of the baddest females we've had in years. Like, it's just, Dino Fury is just knocking it out of the park for the women. And I'm just like, see, this is how you showcase women. Like, this is how you showcase everybody. Because it's like, you don't, like, Power Rangers, and honestly, I'm not even going to hold you, and I feel like I've echoed this before, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Mm-hmm. I feel like Power Rangers sometimes feel like how the record company kind of does with women in general, where it's like there can only be one. Like we can have plenty of male artists doing the exact same thing with no problem. But when it comes to a woman, there can only be one who specializes in this one thing. Nobody else can do it but her, And I feel like Power Rangers has that same trope where it's like for years, you only had Pink being the spotlight. Pink was the only one that got to do things. Whereas Yellow or whatever other color didn't get to do anything. Normally it was always Yellow. Never got to do anything. And even then, a lot of times, yes, Pink got stuff to do, but Pink was also always the Red Ranger or whomever else's little lapdog. Like she was always the one who was so codependent, it was ridiculous. It's like trying to pull her away and she's like, no, let me go. I got to go to him. It's like, girl, you are a whole person on your own. Oh, no, I'm nothing without this person. Hello, Catherine. You know what I'm saying? Like no tea, no shade. Like, and even Catherine Sutherland even knows that Catherine, was very codependent on Tommy. I mean, every time you turn around, it's Tommy. Like, you got Adam standing right beside her, who could help her much faster than Tommy could, but she calling for Tommy. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you constantly have these female characters always being portrayed in such a helpless state just to make men look better, just to make men look stronger. And that's not how women work. That's never been how women work at all. So I do applaud Hasbro for just being like, we're not feeding into this foolishness. We're going to make all our women badasses. And that's what we're going to do. So, speaking of badasses, let's get into it. So, Ryan Parrott, y'all. Ryan Parrott has been doing some big things. And, he's been giving us fabulous work. He's been giving us a little piece of Power Rangers. First of all, he started out with Go-Go. He gave us probably one of the best, like, pre-Power Ranger-y, like, filling in the gap stories of Power Rangers ever. I mean, Go-Go literally was the Power Rangers that I wish we got to see in Mighty Morphin. Like, it was literally what I wish we had. And it just told so many tremendously beautiful stories about them as, you know, before Tommy even showed up. Like, it gave us so much backstory on who these Rangers, who these teenagers are. So Ryan Parrott gave us that. Then he took over and just created some of the best arcs that we've had in Power Rangers yet. And we're approaching probably one of the biggest arcs ever, the Eltarian War. You know, so he's just doing phenomenal work with the Power Rangers comics. Well, surprise, surprise. This man has his own comic now. He is coming out with his own work. He has tweeted out saying, "Hey everyone, after working on this for over a year, I can finally share it with the world. This February, I have a new ongoing superhero series coming out from Image Comics, Rogue Sun. More info to come soon." What is it giving? What do y'all think of the look of Rogue Sun? What do y'all think?
Honestly, I think it's gonna be fantastic. It looks fantastic. I'm here for it. I'm excited. He took Power Rangers and he turned it into basically Marvel in my eyes. I don't care what anyone fucking says, okay?
No, dead ass. Dead ass.
So it can be a fail. Like, it's got to be great. It's got to be just fantastic.
I agree. I agree 100.
I would agree as well. I actually found a little synopsis for it.
Oh, well, what is it?
Okay, so Rogue Sun, being released around the 30th anniversary of Image Comics, is about a rebellious teen whose father left him only to turn up dead.
Oh.
Investigating, the teen discovers that his father was a superhero who's left his suit and powers. Parrott summarized, it's about a kid who has to solve his dad's murder and learn about the guy he hates. In regards to Supermassive and Rogue Sun, Parrott said it was a fun experience and hopefully people like it.
Wow.
I was getting, when I read about that, it reminded me of, I believe that's like somewhat of the, isn't that kind of like Stargirl's premise? Didn't Stargirl find like her dad's suit or something like that?
Well, if you're talking about the CW story,
well, no, not
it
the
wasn't
suit,
her
the
dad.
scepter.
The
right?
scepter, yeah, but it wasn't her dad. The scepter just chose her. But this is according to the CW's version. Now, I don't know about the actual comic, but the CW version, yeah, that wasn't her father. That was some other random man that looked like her dad, apparently, but it wasn't him.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that reading the synopsis, that has me even more pumped for it. So that sounds cool. I just got real quick for me. I obviously have a lot of fun with the Power Rangers comics. However, sometimes with reading, I have to like really be in the mood for it. So to introduce a brand new comic outside of Power Rangers is going to be interesting because I actually have a couple that I have to finish. So
wow,
add it to the list.
No,
but but when it's good though, it like goes by so quickly. But I just gotta be in the mood for it.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even hold you. Like, I didn't know that was what Rogue Sun was about. Thank you for actually reading that because I didn't know, and that actually got me even more hyped to read it because I'm like, that right there, I could see that in my head, but as Power Rangers though. Like, what if there was a Power Ranger season where that actually happened, where it was like, oh yeah, like my dad was never home, and like I freaking hate this man because he missed like all of my soccer games or whatever, and I freaking hate him. And then come to find out, like this mug is a whole Power Ranger and he died. And now I realize, holy crap, my dad was a Power Ranger and he's dead. And now I have to find whoever killed him, and then it's some badass who is like constantly whooping his behind every week. Like, I love it. I love it. Like that just sounds amazing. And like that would sound like a great Power Ranger season, but whatever, it's not. So I'm definitely very excited to read this. I am excited. To read it. So yes, Ryan, we can't wait to read this and see what you got in store for us. Speaking of in store, so we're about to get into these comics, y'all. Issues 8 of Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get into Power Rangers because this one, I ain't gonna lie to you, this one was really good too. I enjoyed this one. So this one here, first of all, now thoughts, like just thoughts on what you felt.
I got this reminded me of one of my favorite Power Rangers episodes in general, and it was the Lost Galaxy episode, Escape the Lost Galaxy. It was a Mike focus. Just with the whole concept of going to a planet and doing like a recon mission to save civilians. And they're being like it's time sensitive.
Right.
So that whole concept was really, that was fun. That was a lot of fun from first off, the Hartunians, I believe that's how you say it. Them to be like a savage civilization historically. And then to what we're going to get into, to see like the different sects of the civilians. You have people that are, they're going behind Till, who's the king, and then you have another group of people that are just regular civilians just trying to live, and that aren't bad people, and those are ultimately the ones that were saved. And then the battle between the Trini and Jason and the Zords taking on one of the Imperials, that was really cool as well. I just it was, this one was very suspenseful. It was one of those situations where it was so good, like I finished it so fast, and I'm like, oh my god, I want more.
Right?
Page turner.
It was interesting. I was very surprised by how much was going on with so little. I mean, I was having a hard time reading it, mostly because like I'm not in the mood to read it, but I had to read it, right? But I think had I been in the mood, I would definitely enjoy the series, like this issue a lot more. But it was definitely, there was just like a lot. Like I don't even know what to make of the whole situation with how clever, for one, Lord Zed was. I'm still shook, and like it just, I know, mind boggles me how much happens. And I think at the end of it, one of the Alturian is, if I'm wrong, he is the one that's basically trying to like reset everything, isn't he? Like, fuck. When I saw that, I was like, man, like you were not wrong. Like things are picking up.
They're getting juicy. Yes, we're almost at the war.
God, like I'm like I said, like I'm just at loss of words right now because I'm still processing what I just read. I'm like shook. It was a lot. A lot in such a tiny little issue. Exactly what you said earlier. It was like a page turner. It was just sort of like, and the only thing that was kind of confusing for me is the back and forth between the timeline, right? So I had to like try to remember which timeline belongs to which. Not that I'm saying like, oh, it was so confusing. I wasn't even caught on. It's just that I think because again, I wasn't in the mood to read it, that I wasn't as focused as I should have been.
For those of us who are, are caught up on what is going on. So basically, we left off on issue 7, where the Queen of Hartunia, the Glamazon, she basically was like, so don't pay no attention to my husband. He tripping. Actually, we do need you. These things are coming to kill us. And yeah, like we need your help. So, we're on the Spectrum too, and which is the name of their ship. And, she and Tommy are having a conversation. And once again, I do not care for Dragon. I don't care for Dragon. However, he does have a good point. The Hartunians are terrible people. And they because basically the Hartunians have been featured in the comics before, and we know of the Hartunians past, and we know that they aren't good people because Zordon's people, the Eltarians had fought against the Hartunians a while back. So we know that the Hartunians have a very bad history of being just awful people. However, one thing I really like about this comic is that it explores how just because these people have a bad past, it doesn't mean that all of them are like that. Like just us, they're still known for being terrible people, but there's actually a group of people in that race of people that are not bad. They just want to live. Like they just want to be happy and just live their lives. But you have people like the king and his people who are still horrible and stuff. But then it becomes a situation of, does your past still, just because you have a terrible past, does that mean that you are still, and even though that, like that, does that past still can it still follow you and still mean that you are still worthy of getting a certain punishment? Like, is that fair? And it's very interesting for this to be explored. Like, so basically the Imperial, there we go. Oh gosh, I forgot it is. So the Imperial is coming down. It's the king was like, my glory has arrived. My guy, doggone well you can't kill no Imperial. What are you doing? So, and literally in the same panel, she's like, my husband is a fool. Like, obviously, yes, he's an idiot. But basically the wife is just like, look, like, this is what's going to happen. This Imperial thing is coming. Yes, we've done some terrible things, but I don't want my people to die. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want us to escape this mess. My husband wants to sit here and try to, get our people killed, and I don't want that. So, Trini kind of questions, like, you are a queen, aren't you? Like, couldn't you just go ahead and start a revolution or something? That's what Zach says. And she's like, well, we tried, but my husband got such a stronghold on the people.
The people that he mistreats.
Exactly.
Are so brainwashed into just accepting it, I guess.
Exactly.
That they defended him.
Exactly. And that's the scary part. Like, how many times have we actually seen that in real life?
Yeah.
Like, people get so mistreated that you get, shillings on the dollar. That's what I call it, shillings on the dollar. You get underpaid, and the wages don't match the cost of living. You're working your ass off. You can barely make ends meet, and you got these rich ass motherfuckers telling you what you can and can't do and what you should be able to pay with your little piece of coin that you get. You know what I'm saying? And these people are literally caping for these millionaires trying to be like, well, yeah, we can get billionaires. Yeah, exactly. You know, being like, yeah, we can get this. We can get to this level of wealth. And it's like, you idiots. They are literally doing everything in their power to keep you from getting to that level of wealth. You know, and they are so brainwashed to believe that they can literally be these people. And it's like, you can never be these people. They won't allow it. They won't allow it. That is, you know, and that is literally, and that's why I love Ryan's work, because he literally mirrors the real world so well. So literally, you know, she's begging them, like she literally falls to her knees, and it's like, please save my people, please. So the Rangers are just like, oh God, you know, like they are like, okay, like the Rangers are like, oh my God, like Jesus, okay, we will help you. We promise we will help you. So, you know, obviously the Imperial is talking all that cash money shit, you know, being like, y'all ain't about shit. I'm about to cleanse all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? You are worthless scum. I'm about to go ahead and wipe all of y'all out because y'all ain't even worth living. So the king enlists his people, and they, you know, they go to try to fight the Imperial and the monsters that it creates. Well, guess who joins the scene? Okay, they look fucking gross. Like, I'm like, oh snap. Like, first of all, don't they look like Venom? They look like rock versions of Venom.
I can see that. I was thinking about what was it? Oh my God, Infinity War, Thanos' army.
Yeah. They do look like that, actually.
Yeah. And now that you mentioned Venom, I really see that too, because I thought that they were like, you know, running like on all fours, but they're actually running on 2 feet with just a bunch of arms.
Yeah.
So it's like a mix of both, kind of.
Right. Like, that junk is crazy. I was like, ooh, okay. And of course, as we know, like, I'm pretty sure, like, those Hartoonians are getting thrashed. Like, I mean, they're just getting tore up. And of course, who joins the battle? If it was none other than Jason and Trini. They come in the Omega Zords, like, we're about to go ahead and we about to kick some Imperial ass. So Trini unleashes the Omega Sledge Strike, and Jason gives a little piece of Omega Fire Fury. But that ain't did nothing. Because that Imperial just went ahead and just, you know, took them to the ball and was like, okay, yeah, that ain't did nothing for me. That ain't did nothing. But of course, this was all a diversion, because literally Zach is trying to get the people out of the castle. But of course, what happens? Obviously, we know this can't be a successful mission, because obviously they got to get cornered by the king's men. So obviously this isn't going to go well. This isn't going to be easy. So the Imperial is still fighting the Rangers, and basically he is handing their asses to them. He is stomping their ass, child. I'm like, oh Lord, oh God, this is not good. And of course, the Imperial turns around and he spots the king. Child. So I'm sitting here like, this is giving real Game of Thrones, honey. I was like, oh, is this about to be a Cersei moment where he kills Cersei? Where they try to get rid of Cersei, but then she don't die? It was. It was that moment. So you think he's dead because the Imperial goes ahead and destroys the castle where the king is, but we're going to get
inside of. Yes.
Exactly. I mean, just with a flick of the wrist, just whop, just
yeah,
just basically just bow, just like what does the sound effect say? Boom, like just
yeah.
just boom the building. So you got a little piece of Zach and the Queen. They trying to fight off the King's men.
Yo, real quick.
Go for it.
We left out the part where when Zach and the Queen are they're cornered. He told Zach is like, get behind me, Empress. But then she's like, yo, this dialogue, I loved it. She like, please, I'm married to a narcissistic maniac. The first thing I learned was how to defend myself.
Oh my God.
I love that.
I was like, girl.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Oh my God. That was
I'm
awesome.
with you. I love you. And then at that point, I really wanted to save her too.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm like, yes, please save them.
Yes.
Save her.
Okay.
She needs to lead her people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sis turned into Xena the Warrior Princess. She was like, listen. Like, I got you. Like, baby. Like, sis was ready. She was ready. I love it. And so, of course, they fighting. They trying to do their thing. First of all, like, I felt so bad because, like, she was like, this is... I knew this was not going to end well when she said, my people need to survive. Human, I appreciate your foolish attempt at chivalry, but please do as I ask. I'll be right behind you. Because he was like, come on, I'm not going to leave you. And she was like, I'm be right behind you. I'm like, no, she's not. No, she's not. She's going to die. And right when that happened, I'm like, no, don't do this.
She reminded me of Laura Dern's character from Star Wars, Vice Admiral Holdo. I believe she had a similar situation where she like sacrificed herself for her people. And that's what that reminded me of. That was oh my God, that's so cool to like make us care about that character in the course of an issue, and then
2 issues.
She makes the alter. Well, yeah, the very end of the last one.
Yeah, right.
The very
end. One, and
then all this, she's showing this. Yeah, she's showing how selfless she is and how much she cares about her people. So much so, like she's fine with not making it herself as long as her people make it, as many as possible. So I really that was great. That was just great.
Like, oh God, like that it just blew my mind. Just how freaking I'm like, how could you make me love this woman literally within like one and like a quarter issue?
And I think she was bad, but she was supposed to be a terrible person. She was supposed to be like, like the villain. She was supposed to be like what we hated. And then within 5 seconds, we're like, save her behind.
Save her. And it's just like, we knew she isn't going to make it. At that moment, as soon as I read that line, I'm like, she's not going to make it.
Me too. I was like, she ain't going to make it. Like, no.
Because we know the lines.
Oh, yeah.
We know the lines.
Exactly.
We know the line.
It was
like, go without me. I'll be right behind you.
Yeah.
And
they're never right behind you. They're never right behind you.
They're never right behind you. So Zach, of course, is like, fine, but my ships due north. I'll hold it for as long as I can. Take care of those losers and come lead your people. Now we all know that ain't gonna happen, y'all. But okay, Zach.
But I did like how he closed the door on the husband, and I love how Lord Dragon is like, I thought I saw something in the forest. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Dragon knew. Dragon. Now see, Dragon petty. And see, that is one thing I'm gonna sit. I'm not gonna even sit here and lie. I kind of laughed at that part too. I laughed because I was like, "Now, Draken, you petty,
Right?
you petty,
Right?
because really, sir, like you really gaslighting Zach because you know that wasn't you know Zach is probably not happy right now, and you really sit here trying to gaslight this man, like, ooh, Draken, you get on my nerves. I had to laugh at that. But so basically back at the ranch, you got Dad Imperial just waxing Jason, just wham, smash, kathum, just waxing that ass. And Trini hits him with a little piece of Jason, get ready. It was all a diversion. She's like, get ready. And he's like, yeah. And they're like, Omega Energy Vortex. First of all, they got so many damn names. I'm thinking this is Sailor Moon. So, because they got power attacks for days. So they go ahead and they do a little power attack, but it does absolutely nothing to this thing. That thing was just like, what was that?
Is that all you got?
Is that all you got? And they sitting here like,
pretty much.
It's like, well, damn. So these poor babies. So they're just like, so we gotta get the hell out of here. So, Zach is like, well, she is like, we gotta go ahead and go. Like, we got to get off this planet. Zach is like, come on, like, no. Like, I know she's coming. And she is like, look, baby, I know you want to save her, but we got to go. Like, I know you care, but baby, we got to go, baby. We got to go. So Zach is like, okay, all right. So the ship is lifting off. And then that is the scene that Lena is talking about. And I'm sorry. First of all, the way this scene is drawn out, whoever did this is petty. Because you got the doors of the ship closing, and the king is standing there, and you see Zach's face
in plain view. He's like standing there in plain view. There was no force around him. If he was in plain view.
When I tell you, he was in plain sight, and you just see the doors closing by Zach's face. When I tell you, this scene is gold. I love it. Oh, it's amazing.
And then, of course, you get Lord Dragon go, I thought I saw something. I'm like,
was I mistaken? Like, now Draken. And Zach is like, I didn't see nobody. Like, what you talking about? I ain't seen nobody. Like,
I saw nothing.
Nope. I ain't seen nothing.
Nope.
Like, nope. So basically, she is like, look, we out. So y'all got to come on. And they're just like, you ain't got to tell us twice. So they haul ass, Jason and Trini. And basically, the Imperial was like, so I'm about to go ahead and end this hoe. And he just pulls a Serpentera, destroying the ancient city, and just obliterates the entire planet. And you got the king being like, no, it can't end like this. And he meets his end, and you got the queen being like, forgive me, I'm sorry. And she burns in the blast, which is really sad. I'm like, oh, no. So obviously Zach feels the same way, and the people are like, well, where is the queen? We have nobody to lead us. Where is the queen?
I mean, I love how lost they look and how like dedicated they are, but at the same time, I'm like, think for yourselves.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I don't know. That was a little frustrating because like it's very much like like the sheeps, they're all just following each other. They're not really thinking for themselves. It was, I don't know, so that was really frustrating for me. I just wish that like since they were so rebellious against the king, you figure that they would have a bit more of freedom of mind.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
thing.
especially because the queen, like that seemed like what the queen was all about. You know, breaking out from under that king and, you know, fighting for her people. Like she took a stand. So
that's why like I was so confused.
The thing is, and I agree with that. I do feel like here's the thing with the people, and like I could understand their confusion, but I definitely understand where you're coming from. But I can't understand their confusion because these are people they've never been free. You know, they've never been free. They've never they've never thought for themselves. Like they always had either the king or the queen leading them. So, you know, it's like, well, what do we do now? Like we don't have, and especially with the queen being who she was and being so beloved. And it's like, you know, they obviously feel like, you know, well, she is the leader. She's the leader of this revolution. Like without her, we can't make it. And it's like, but you can't, because she's gotten you to this point. Now it's up for you to carry her message out. It's up for you to carry out her legacy, which is exactly what Zach said. He's like, you know, like she sacrificed her life to make sure you all got a second chance. And, you know, basically they were like, we honor her. And in word and in deed, we live the way she wanted us to. Today, our people will start anew. So it's like, yeah, like that is what we have to do now in order to survive, in order to keep living. We have to honor her in that way because she wanted us to have that. So I just feel like that is such a beautiful way of just wrapping that up. But then Zach brings up a very good point. Now, Zach and Trini kind of, you know, get into it, you know, a little bit. And I understood Zach's frustration. I understood it. He was just like, Trini was like, you know, I know you're upset, but the next time, and he's like, the next time, what? We'll save a few dozens. Man, we got this superhero thing solved, don't we? Now, I understand his frustration, but at the same time, I'm like, my God, like you can only do but so much. You can't save everybody. Well, and that is something that heroes need to learn.
Right. No, and I agree with what you're saying, but the other thing that kind of irritate me with this Trini is that she has this like, I need to save everybody. We need to try to save everybody. So I think that was part I was kind of annoyed with when she said that, because she did basically was like, well, we need to try saving this planet, even though they're shitty people.
Right.
So the fact that she fought for them to save this planet and then to give Zach that speech, I was so annoyed with that. I'm sorry.
I was definitely annoyed. Yeah. I
was like, no, you can't be. I understand where Zach is coming from, because like you literally fought for us to help save this planet. You argue against the king that did not want to be saved. You did all these things, and now that Zach is pissed and he's actually finally seeing what you're seeing, you're like, nah, what we did was good. It's fine. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
what? No. Was that why you were so pissed that Lord Dragon was playing ball with you guys, even though that shouldn't even been needed? But whatever.
Well, shit. Like, let's not even forget. Like, literally, while they were trying to save Zach and Jason out of jail from SPD, that one SPD officer got killed off the train or whatever, and she just fell to pieces over that.
Yes, there's like, that too.
That's the nature of the game. Like, what did you think this was? And I do feel like that is something, like you're exactly right, Lena. It's just one of those situations where it's like it feels like the TV show Trini, or this version of Trini, is now coming to terms with real life. Not that she didn't have it before, but now it's really being cemented. Like this is the real, like this is the real
stakes
like
are higher
stakes are
compared to
much
when they
higher.
were on Earth.
Exactly. Like out here, ain't no little piece of, oh, we fight a battle and we win the day. We ain't doing that here. In space, it's completely different. Like the game has changed. You know, like it is, we playing for keeps. And if you die, you die. Like that it is what it is. And, you know, this idealism of this ideology of just like, oh, you know, we have to save everybody. We have to do this. We have to do that. You can't do that anymore. You know, you have to also worry about yourself. You have to worry about your teammates, and you have to save as many people as you can. But also at the same time, you also have to be comfortable and be fine with the fact that not everybody is going to live. And that's basically what Zach is so upset about. Let that man have his moment.
Exactly.
Let him have his moment.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, why can't you let him soak? Like, you were soaking literally the entire, like, I don't even know, 7 issues since we've been reading it. She's constantly soaking about, like, Lord Dragon. Constantly soaking about this. Like, girl, yeah. You've had many moments where you soak. Let Zach do this one thing in peace for 5
exactly.
to 10 minutes. Like, exactly. Let the man be, you know? So when that scene happened, I was quite annoyed with that. I'm like, no, Trini. I like you, but you need to step aside and let him deal.
Yeah. I agree 100%. Like, let that man have his moment. Because the thing is, Zach has been happy pretty much this whole thing. Like, he's been just the comic relief. Like, he's been, making little jokes here and there, being shady to the Draken. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's been just living his best life on this space voyage. But, this man experienced, something traumatic. Like, he watched someone, he watched someone that he became fond of, like, just die. Like, he literally just, like, found out, like, he really literally just realized that this person did not make it. Like, let that man have that. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't this is not the time. This is not the time, Trini. Like,
it's really not. And he gave you your moment. I'm sorry. He let you have your moments.
Exactly. So, I definitely, yes. Like, that was not the move, Trini. That was not the move. But so then, obviously we got at the very end, because basically Draken is like, we gotta find a way to track that Imperial. And child. So of course we see the destruction of the planet, and we see a very gruesome Hartunian skull that is being cracked and deposited in a molten bed of lava as a transmission pops through. And lo and behold, who is it? Zardis, old ratchet ass. And this mug says, now here's the conversation, right? Now it says, is it done? The Imperial goes, yes, master. The cycle of creation begins. Once the fire dies, the waters will return and life will spring forth again. A more worthy life form should evolve within the next 3 billion years. Perhaps the next will be more civilized. And the Omega Rangers, they attempted to interfere, but were unsuccessful. They lacked strength and conviction of their predecessors. Then another voice goes, we will deal with them once the task has been completed. As the master commands, says the Imperial. Until then, reunite with your brethren and wait for my command. All is going according to plan. And you can see Zardis in his armor holding the Zeo crystal. Now, Zardis ain't shit, because we already know. Zardis is holding a Zeo crystal. Some way, shape, or form, he acquired the Zeo crystal. So, what is this about? So that is Power Rangers.
After all of that whole journey we just went on, then we see Zarda's ass at the end as the master behind the freaking Imperials. What the hell?
Right?
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
This was a good one.
It was a really good one. I was like, now that's a plot twist. I saw how they did that. They took that full circle.
That's it.
Yep, and this is how we connect to the other one. Yeah.
Yep.
I love it.
Like it was exciting. I really enjoyed this issue. I was like, oh my God, this issue is so good. Loved the hell out of it. So that was issue 8 of Power Rangers. Now we got one more, Mighty Morphin. Now, babies, this one I feel like was, just as good. I enjoyed this one a lot too. Was it given? Like, was it given to y'all? Was it given as much as Power Rangers? How did y'all feel about Mighty Morphin 8?
I didn't like it as much. I felt like it was sort of annoying. It was a really long, dragged up battle for no reason. And the whole thing with Grace, honestly, that woman needs to sit her fucking ass down. She's so fucking annoying. She's literally the definition of a white privileged woman. With is it vendetta? Am I saying that right?
Vendetta.
The vendetta. With a vendetta. Like, how are you any better than Zordon at this point?
Is she any better than Zordon? Because child,
but you know what I mean,
honey, like, I know exactly what you mean.
Like that righteousness that she has going on. Like, I'm so fucking tired of her.
And you know what? That's something we're seeing with this version of Zordon as well. So it's like they're what's that term? The same, different sides of the same coin.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
But you're basically doing the same thing, but you feel like your motivations are different. You're motivated by wanting revenge for Zordon traumatizing you as a child. Oh God, that sounds horrible. As a younger person, sending you on a mission to the moon, and you watch these people who you thought were maybe. Well, who knows what her thoughts were about what her relationships with those people would be. She just met them, but she watched 3 of them die.
Yeah. Like immediately too. They die like immediately.
Yeah, because that Green Psycho Ranger just annihilated their asses. I mean, he just like that poor Black Ranger ain't stood a chance. Like sis was just out the gate, just bow, just dead. I'm like, oh Lord. And then poor Pink. Now I just felt like I honestly felt like Pink was just like, that was just wrong on so many levels. Like you ain't had to do the first male Pink Ranger like that. Like that's just me. Like but regardless, Black, Pink, and Blue, they all died. And the only one who survived was her and Torona. And it's just like, dang, like, for real? Like, these are the only ones that survive? Really? Foolishness. So, listen, Grace, she's a whole hot ass mess. That is no lie. But the stuff that happens in this comic, we gonna get into it, child. We gonna get into it, because this right here, some foolishness. So now, one thing I do like about Mighty Morphin is they're playing the go-go card of doing 10,000 years ago. They doing all of that, which I like. I like that. So basically, they're setting up the story of the Zeo crystal, right? And funny enough, there was a certain warrior that was called. Now, in the story of that they were being told, basically it was like, they said once the morphing realm was controlled by a chaos demon called Vitara, and the first ones cried out for a savior, and Zeon, the warrior god, heard their calls. That name is very specific. So I don't know whether y'all know this, but Zeon was the actual first name that was originally supposed to be the Gold Ranger.
Oh, wow.
Before they named him Trey.
Oh, I did not know this.
That's interesting. I had no idea.
Yes. So, whatchamacallit is they pulling out all the deep cuts, honey. Because I'm like, that is clever. That is actually very clever. So yeah, that was actually an original name that was, that was used. So kudos to them for actually using that as a name. So I thought that was pretty fucking cool. So Zeon basically, fought Vitara and was victorious. And basically, forged the Zeo crystal. Now, mind you, this does kind of, I don't know whether they retold the story or what, but remember, I don't know whether you remember, Lena, but Will, you read Beyond the Grid, right? Now, remember, there was a whole planet that was created of nothing but Zeo crystals.
Right.
So, so I'm like, he forged the Zeo crystal. So, did he forge the Zeo crystal of this reality? Or, like, how did that work? Because I don't know. It's like, are we telling the same story, or is Beyond the Grid a whole separate story on its own? That this is very interesting. You just made me almost choke on my spit. That was so unexpected. Like, oh wow. But yes, so
who knows? So is there only one Zeo crystal, or
is there,
like
right?
in this, or like you said, is this the one Zeo crystal for this sect of the galaxy, or who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe we'll get more info on it later.
Right. Hopefully.
But like I said, hopefully Beyond the Grid is just like another dimension.
Yeah, I'm thinking Beyond the Grid is like a whole different dimension on its own. It just exists in the ether and on its own little scepter.
And something that I've thought for a while was because of the Shattered Grid and how, even though things were restored, like Jen had said in Shattered Grid, even if things are repaired, it's still like a piece of broken glass. It'll never completely be the same. So that I felt like that was the perfect way to explain differences in the story going forward, not being exactly how they were on TV. And also potentially creating other dimensions. So
yeah,
I mean, like they it's right there. So,
which is exciting because that means that there's so many doors that are open to explore in this world, because we've only known what we've seen in the show, and the simple fact that literally, there's so many things that could have been happening behind the scenes, so much knowledge, so much history that happened that we haven't even tapped into that is happening concurrently at the same time that the show was going, but we only knew what was happening on Earth. And, you know, when you start introducing all these different characters, and that's one thing I really like about the comics, because they are exploring what's happening underneath, what's happening in the background. Because mind you, you know, Astronomer is still running amok at this time. And that was always something that, you know, really just made sense. It's like, okay, so Astronomer is still, you know, she's still a thing at this time, you know, because at some point she should have been branded the princess of evil. Mm-hmm. Like, what was going on with that? Was Andros made a ranger the same time as was Andros and Zane made a ranger the same time as the Mighty Morphin Rangers? Like, how long was Andros in the game?
So. You know? To think so, yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, how long was he in the game? Like, it's just all of these little different things that are happening all at the same time and in the background. And it's like, this is very interesting to, you know, to put and piece together. So I am like very excited of what, you know, what could be happening. Well, of course, now they do bring a little piece of information in here that is very, very interesting in this conversation. So, of course, Zofram, Zardis, and Zordon are having a little piece of conversation, child. They have, well, whomever this guy is. I want to say that's who that is. But anyway, they're having a little piece of conversation. And, you know, he says, you know, Zordon, as much as I appreciate your unwavering faith, the council has specifically forbade anyone from using the Zeo crystal. It's simply too dangerous. Because Zordon was just like, let's just go ahead and use the Zeo crystal, wipe these motherfuckers out. And they're like, no. So then, he was like, then you must convince them. Zofram, I don't blame you for being frightened to use that. And then Zofram is like, frightened? Did you know that if I'm ever taken captive, Dark Spectre has decreed that I'm to have my skin peeled from my bones and made into a coat? And he was like, I did not. And he's like, then do not lecture me on the nature of fear. Now, that is very interesting, because that is giving a very, very, very descriptive look of how someone else looks.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of, what's that, a foreshadowing?
Foreshadow. Which I'm like, okay. So, you know, they're just like, well, no one touches it, right? No one touches the Zeo crystal. We just leave it alone. So, back at the ranch in the present, Angel Grove. So, the Chaos Putty is putting the smack down on Tommy and is waxing that ass. Trini comes in with
Aisha.
God damn it. I saw the tire coin and was like, Trini. No, it's Aisha. Yes. Trini comes in. Trini. Aisha. Aisha comes in. Aisha comes in the Griffin. Comes scooting along. Child, I ain't never seen the Griffin drive that fast. First of all,
that's what I was just thinking. And I'm thinking of how funny that must look because it doesn't have legs.
It doesn't have legs. Listen, Aisha was driving through Angel Grove like a Tomb Raider. She was speeding. Sis was like, listen, I know the speed limit is 35, but bitch, I'm about to do a whole 60 down this mug. Like, Aisha was not playing with you hoes. Like, she really wasn't. I love it. So this is the first time that we ever actually seen the Griffin be useful. So we love it.
Right.
And, so she's just speeding through and, she is like helping out Tommy, right? So, of course, we got everybody looking on the little computer screen being at Promethea, being like, we got to do something. Well, that's Matt being like, we got to do something.
Yeah.
And Grace is like, well, we're standing here and we're being smart. Like, we ain't getting involved in that shit. And the one thing I love about Matt is just that, like, literally he is just like, look, I didn't stand here. I didn't become the Green Ranger to do nothing. Like, like I want to help. Like, I want to be useful. And Grace is like, I understand that's what you signed up for, but you actually signed up to be my warrior, and I am telling you to sit down and shut up. So do your job. So that's basically the energy here. Like, Grace is like, earn your place, learn your place, earn your spot. Like, you don't get to make the demands around here. I do that. So, of course, you got the Lord Zed is standing in front of the Rangers, like, all cheeked out, all double cheeked out in his armor booty, being like, Rangers, I told you, you have the power to end this. Just give me what I want. Like, and just think of it. No more monsters, no more fighting, no more nothing. You can just live your life like normal. Just give me Zordon. That is all I ask. That's all I ask. Just give me Zordon. And they're like, nah, bruh. So, of course, they got to put the pause on them. So they start fighting back. You got Adam and Rocky, handling a little piece of Goldar. Kimberly coming through with the arrows, like, shooting them little piece of arrows and stuff. I'm like, first of all, we ain't never seen Kimberly shoot four and five arrows at a time. Like, she only be shooting one, which I'm just like, first of all, where them arrows come from? But sis only shoot one arrow.
Where does the bow come from?
Okay, where is the bow? Where is the string? Where is all of this? Like, sis, we just launching one arrow.
Speaking of just launching, like, why don't they just launch Zordon to them? Like, that's what you want? Hey, you know what? It's one sacrifice of how many people?
Listen,
that's their damn mentor. They don't.
I don't care.
They don't know what to do.
I don't
know what to do without him.
Nah, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Throw his ass out there.
No, but think about it. Think about it. I bet you Zordon would be the one to give that speech. Like, well, there's only one for the greater good. Well, I'm sorry, Zordon, but you are only one for the greater good too.
I mean, listen, they ain't gonna throw Zordon under the bus. They love Zordon too much. Now, mind you,
but meanwhile, Zordon does not have any problem throwing them under the bus. Grace.
Oh, girl, you just literally took the words out of my mouth. Like, Zordon don't give two shits about their asses. Like, he just thinks of these little teenagers, children. He thinks of them as soldiers,
right?
Like, he don't care nothing about them like that.
All I'm trying to say is, you treat people how you want to be treated. So the way I see is that I would have been like, you know what, guys, you want Zordon? Take him. Leave this town alone. Leave the people here. Take him.
Take him.
And take Grace while you're at it too. We don't want her.
Listen, Grace, listen. Grace is like, look, I know this is what you want. I don't really like the motherfucker either. You can have him. Like, just don't kill me. You can destroy this whole town if you want to, but leave me and Promethea alone. Like,
I'm telling
let us
you,
be fine.
Like, that woman, she's some next level shit. She's just as evil as
yes, she is.
She's a whole hot ass mess. Like, Grace is just she's something else.
She's really something else. So I'm over her. I'm over Zordon. Like they need to sacrifice Zordon. They need to sacrifice Grace. They need to sacrifice everyone and anyone that would like leave the town alone. Leave the people alone. Just take them and go. Like, go off to that moon, the galaxy, wherever y'all want to be. Like, just leave us.
Just leave us.
Promethea, like, I don't care.
Just leave us be. Give us free. Us free. Like just let us go.
You know, like that's all I'm saying. But I do love the random interview at the very end where the lady goes, "Oh yeah, a giant flea saved my purse." I'm like, "Are you?"
Listen, I appreciate her because she was just like, listen, this little random boy was gonna haul up on my purse. This is the third purse that done been stolen from me. And finally, a big ass flea just curb stomped his ass. I am happy. Like, listen, I am so happy with this. Thank you, Lord Zed. Run for mayor. Like, listen. Sis was so happy. And did you see the look on her face?
Yes.
Like, sis was ecstatic. Like, she's just like, this is what we need. Like, bump the police. We need fleas. Like, we need gigantic fleas in this mug. Like, that's what we need.
You don't understand how amazing that one liner was. Oh, like that made my night. Okay, that made my whole week.
I love her. Like that lady, she was amazing. And the thing is, you know, she was clamoring to talk to a reporter too. You know she was. Like as soon as she saw a camera, she was like, "Ooh, my moment. Let me tell you about this flea." Let me tell y'all about this flea that saved me from getting my purse stolen.
Oh
Let me tell y'all. Child, she's gonna be one of them people who gonna be like, now, Lord Zed, now hear me out. Lord Zed is not a bad person.
He just has bad intentions that can be redirected with the love of God.
Okay, like he can be saved. He can be, which he actually was. But, you know, she was like, he can be saved. Like, he is not a bad person. He is not a bad person. But of course, then you got, you know, Zelia, who comes in the back and, you know, slices it, you know, from behind. And she was just like, and she comes through, you know what I'm saying, with Kim, you know, giving us girl power, Charlie's Angels, like, bow. So then, you know, of course, you got Matt, who was like, man, I can't stand here no more, man. Like, I got to do something. And she's just like, okay, Matt, go ahead. God damn, shut up. Just go. So she was just like, shut up, boy. Just go. So, you know, she tells him to go and not screw up. So of course, Matt somehow contacts the command center. And of course, he's like, Billy, I need you. Please help me. And
this is the moment we've all been waiting for.
Zordon said, what the hell is going on between the sheets in my home? And then Billy is like, baby, wait, let me explain before you start to point your cane. Like, this is the moment.
No. It
was like, and of course, you notice I ain't singing a certain person's part, but you know what I'm saying? This was that moment where he was just like,
oh man,
what is this, honey? Like, what is going on? And you know, Billy is like,
it's not what it looks like.
It's not what you think. Like, it's not what it looks like. I just maybe got a little overzealous. It was just like, I just needed to figure this out. And I kind of consulted Grace. And I may have reactivated the Green Ranger powers and didn't tell you. I'm sorry? ?
Well, first of all, I'm surprised he didn't feel the energy source.
You would think.
I'm just saying, like, Zora, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you not feeling the energy, Zora? Why don't you go alpha? Lucy, what's happening on the globe? Like, wait, does Alpha exist? I don't even know.
Listen, I mean, he be feeling everything else because I mean, Mug always be, I got to go and recharge, or I'm sensing something. Alpha, contact the Rangers. You know, like he always feeling something.
Right?
You ain't felt this?
Right? You ain't felt a whole ass green energy ranger? Like, I don't know. I got no words.
Girl, child, and Zordon let him have it. I mean, Zordon was like, how do we trust you again? If you know how to fix everything, learn how to fix this. If you fix this, then I consider you as a genius. I was like, first of all, and let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. When Zordon was sitting here reading Billy for filth, when he was reading him, first of all, I'm like, oh, can somebody stop moving? Let's see. When Zordon was reading him for filth, first of all, I was like, now, Zordon, you got some damn nerve. Because you are the last person that should be going as hard on Billy as you are. Because lest we forget, Zordon, you did some terrible things. Exactly. You cost people their lives.
I was gonna bring up.
You did terrible things, and you have the audacity and the unmitigated gall to tell Billy, to basically treat Billy like he did something so heinous, so evil. Lest we forget, Zordon, you are the main person that literally sent the SPD officers after the Omega Rangers because you literally told them that they couldn't do what they needed to do to figure out this threat. You took what they were trying to tell you as just, oh, it's whatever. We'll be fine. Like you did not even believe the Omega Rangers enough to even believe that what they were facing was a real threat. And then had the audacity to basically tell them, you're not Rangers anymore. Sir, you are literally alienating everybody. You are alienating everybody who does not follow your immediate orders. Like you are terrible. You are terrible at your job, Zordon. So basically, he's like, you gave away one of our most powerful weapons, and all this stuff. And it's just like, dude, like, really, like Zordon just was wilding. So of course, you got Trini in her Aisha in her Zord scooter, flying through Angel Grove. And that thing is chasing her, honey. It is after for Aisha. And I felt so bad. Because I know that thing ain't going no more than 50 miles per hour, but she is gone. Girl, I'm like, Aisha, girl, go, girl. I'm rooting for you, girl. I'm rooting for you. I am rooting for you.
It was so funny because it's just.
Listen, child, the way that Griffin neck look, she got that Griffin in the wind. Like that Griffin neck is all bunched up. Like, I'm crying. Like, baby, the way Aisha got this thing going, I love it. Aisha is not playing no games. She has no game. Baby, you see the car that she done flipped up? Like, she flipping cars. Like, Aisha ain't playing with y'all. Now, this girl can drive. That's somebody that you want on your team when you got somewhere to go. Aisha's like, I gotta go. Baby, she got that thing in the wind. I love it. And then you got Matt coming in with the dragons, the updated Dragon Sword, which actually looks really badass.
Man. Yeah.
It comes in and it just starts wrecking shit. So Tommy does his little moves, little fireball moves, and they just went ahead, destroyed all the little putties and stuff, and then everybody is like, "Yay! The Dragon Sword saved the day!" Basically, Matt gets all the praise, and and everybody's all excited and happy. And then, of course, you got the Black, Red, and Pink Rangers basically just, beating the shit out of the putties and Goldar, and basically sends them packing. And of course, Grace had to be like, she got to get in on the action too. So she brings her men out and they just start beating up Z putties too. And Goldar is like, you know what? I ain't got time for this shit. And Grace pulled out a gat. Yo, I was like, excuse me? Not Grace pulling out the revolver. And it's like, yo, like, you got 2 seconds to get out of here. I'm putting a cap in your ass. And Goldar is like, all right. I ain't never liked you anyway, ho. And disappeared.
I mean, mind you, Goldar always be running with his tail between his legs. Always.
I mean, this is who Goldar is. Like, Goldar is always going to do that. But I just found that so funny that Goldar was just like, yo, I ain't never liked your ass anyway. And disappeared. I'm like, well, damn, Goldar. So you got a little piece of Zelia still fighting Lord Zed, but Lord Zed captures her. And basically is being like, I got everything I came for, including you. And teleports her away. And they're like, shit.
I was like, fuck. No. I'm not gonna lie, that was a twist.
Okay. I was like, oh boy, this isn't good. This isn't good. So then, of course, we got a little piece of the Rangers in the command center. And basically, the military was like, now, first of all, this is the first time that we actually ever seen the military in Power Rangers like that. Like, well, in the Mighty Morphin era. Like, I found that very interesting to see that we actually had, like, the military being like, so, like, we were ready to blow shit up, but thank you for having us avoid, nuking Angel Grove. And, Tommy was just like, next time, can he show? He was like, the president sends his appreciation, and Tommy is like, well, next time, can he show his appreciation by like not nuking our parents? And he's like, well, the guy from the military is like, well, yes, there's still an issue of infiltration, and we don't know how many Z putties are still with the population, so we're going to be deploying. And they're like, Aisha's like, no, you won't.
Yeah.
No, you won't. You ain't doing shit. Aisha was like, no, you won't. You ain't doing that. And they were just like, no, we're gonna do this. And he's like, well, the president isn't gonna like this. And it's like, And Rocky was like, don't go to war with us, General. Look what happened to the last guy. Ooh, burn. I was like, yeah, Rocky. You do it. You dig into his ass, Rocky. And then, of course, we have the little interviews. And we see some familiar faces. You see, obviously, like we said, the old lady. We see Violet. We see a little piece of Violet.
Still talking shit.
Okay, Violet. First of all, Violet do not like the Power Rangers to save her life. Sis is like...
And she has valid points. I'll give her that.
No, she does. Like, everything Violet says makes perfect sense. But girl, I mean, damn. Like, you don't like the Rangers at all. Like, sis is just like, yeah, no. I'm good. Like, like first the Green Ranger was working with Zed. Now he saves the city. Like, nope. Something don't sound right. Nope. So, Matt, is on Ranger Station. And Matt basically, I feel kind of bad for Matt because Matt really did want to do the right thing. And it's just one of those situations where it's like sometimes doing the right thing, it doesn't always get you the results that you want. Like doing the right thing sometimes comes at a price. And he was just like, I never stopped fighting for you. The Green Ranger and Promethea are dedicated to protecting you in the city of Angel Grove by any means necessary. And that's what I stand for. So I'm like, I appreciate you, Matt. I hear you, Matt. I appreciate you too. So Bulk and Skull basically is trying to, they trying to make money. First of all, they said membership starts at only $5 a month. I know that's right. Y'all better promote y'all OnlyFans. So poor Billy he's sitting outside the command center all alone at night. Like, oh Lord, what I'm gonna do? Rocky putting together little bottle caps with his sister. That was a nice
callback.
That was so beautiful. Now, didn't this little part remind you of Power Rangers, the 2017 movie at the very end?
Okay, I didn't even peep that. Yeah,
it really kind of felt that way with little different montages of everybody living their lives and stuff. I was like, oh, because like I felt like Rocky was giving real Trini with when she was repainting her wall. I thought that was really cute. I was like, oh. And then you have Matt, signing autographs, and Kimberly and Tommy sitting there looking like this motherfucker right here. And meanwhile, Zed is sitting here talking to Zelia. And he said, and he's basically not talking to her, but he just basically got her in a cage, and he's just like, yeah.
And then you got Skull looking for his girlfriend.
Yes. Which I thought was really sad. I was like,
I was like, oh, that's really sad. Oh.
Like, Skull really loves that girl. And I'm like, baby, you don't give up looking for her. Don't give up looking for her. Because he loved himself some little piece of Zelia, honey. And I hope he do find her. I hope they do find each other. And the fact that Bulk was so supportive and was like, I'm willing to look for her too. I'm willing to look for her and try to find this girl so my friend can be happy. Just like, dag, like that's so messed up. Ugh. But yes. So that is the end of Mighty Morphin 8. Y'all, we are getting closer and closer to the Eltarian. This is exciting. This is really ramping up. And I just can't wait to see what's going to happen. Like, this is we know that Zardes is in control. We know that he's behind the Imperials, but also the fact that I'm pretty sure Zordon is going to be so gooped and gagged when he finds out that one of his own has betrayed them and betrayed everything that they stand for as Eltarians. Like, this is going to be big. This is going to be big. So, Ryan Parrott, you've once again outdone yourself with this writing.
I definitely going through this again. Actually enjoyed it more than I remember.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it already, but like that was a lot of fun.
No, for real. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, like I didn't honestly, after actually talking about this, I did not realize that Aisha was speeding through the city like that. Like I didn't realize that. I was like, wait a minute, was she really hauling ass through the city like that? I love it. We didn't even know them Thunderzords could even drive that fast. Like, sis was gone. I love it. Well, all right, then. Well, we hope you have enjoyed this episode of Tribunal of the Grid. Once again, my name is Brandon.
My name is Lena.
And I'm Will.
And we will see you next time. Bye.